History, if we define it as the mere transcription of the written records of former generations, can go no farther back than the time such records were first made, no farther than the art of writing. But now that we have come to recognize the great earth itself as a storybook, as a keeper of records buried one beneath the other, confused and half obliterated, yet not wholly beyond our comprehension, now the historian may fairly be allowed to speak of a far earlier day. For unmeasured and immeasurable centuries, humans lived on Earth, a creature so little removed from the beasts that die, so little superior to them, that he left no clearer record than they of their presence here. From the dry bones of an extinct mammoth or a plesiosaur, Cuvier reconstructed the entire animal and described its habits and its home. So too, looking on an ancient, strange, scarce human skull dug from the deeper strata beneath our feet, anatomists tell us that the owner was a human indeed, but one little better than an ape. If we delve amid more recent strata, we find the flint weapons have become bronze. Their owner has learned to handle a ductile metal, to draw it from the rocks and fuse it in the fire. Later, still humans have discovered how to melt the harder and more useful iron. We say roughly, therefore, that humanity passed through a Stone Age, a Bronze Age, and then an Iron Age. Somewhere, perhaps in the earliest of these, we began to build rude houses. In the next, we drew pictures. During the latest, those pictures grew into an alphabet of signs. The structures developed into vast and enduring piles of brick or stone. Buildings and inscriptions became relics, more like to our own, more fully understandable, giving us a sense of closer kinship with the race. There are 3 different lines along which we have succeeded in securing some knowledge of these our distant ancestors, 3 wires from the past, over which they send to us confused and feeble murmurings, whose fascination makes only more maddening the vagueness of their speech. First, we have the picture writings, whether of Central America, of Egypt, of Babylonia, or of other lands. These, when translatable, bring us nearest of all to the heart of the great past. It is the mind, the thought, the spoken word that is most intimately ours, not the face nor figure nor clothes. Unfortunately, the translation of these writings is no easy task. Those of Central America are still an unsolved riddle. Those of Babylon have been slowly pieced together, like a puzzle to which the learned world has given its most able thought. Yet they are not fully understood. In Egypt, we have had the luck to stumble on a clue, the Rosetta Stone, which makes the ancient writing fairly clear. Where this mode of communication fails, we turn to another which carries us even farther into the past. The records which have been less intentionally preserved, not only the buildings themselves, but their decorations, the personal ornaments of men, idols, coins, every imaginable fragment. Chance escape from the maw of time has its own story for our reading. In Egypt, we have found deep hidden secret tombs and, intruding on their many centuries of silence, have reaped rich harvests of knowledge from the garnered wealth. In Babylonia, the rank vegetation had covered whole cities underneath green hillocks and preserved them till our modern curiosity delved them out. Today, those who will may walk amid the halls of Sennacherib, may tread the streets whence Abraham fled. One may gaze upon the handiwork of people who lived perhaps as far before Abraham as we ourselves do after him. Nor are our means of penetrating the past even thus exhausted. A third chain, yet more subtle and more marvelous, has been found to link us to an ancestry immeasurably remote. This unbroken chain consists of the words from our own mouths. We speak as our fathers spoke, and they did but follow the generations before. Occasional pronunciations have altered, new words have been added, and old ones forgotten, but some basal sounds of names, some root thoughts of the heart, have proved as immutable as the superficial elegancies are changeful. Father and mother mean what they have meant for uncounted ages. Comparative philology, the science which compares one language with another to note the points of similarity between them, has discovered that many of these root sounds are alike in almost all the varied tongues of Europe. The resemblance is too common to be the result of coincidence, too deep-seated to be accounted for by mere communication between the nations. We have gotten far beyond the possibility of such explanations. And science says now, with positive confidence, that there must have been a time when all these nations were but one, that their languages are all but variations of the tongue their distant ancestors once held in common. Study has progressed beyond this point, can tell us far more intricate and fainter facts. It argues that one by one the various tribes left their common home and became completely separated, and that each root sound still used by all the nations represents an idea, an object, they already possessed before their dispersal. Thus we can vaguely reconstruct that ancient aboriginal civilization. We can even guess which tribes first broke away, and where again these wanderers subdivided, and at what stage of progress. Surely a fascinating science this. If its later development shall justify present promise, it has still strange tales to tell us in the future.